This time of the year, I know that many of you are thinking about how am I going to pack all that winter clothing into my carry-on? Well, in this video, I'm going to take on that challenge and I'm going to even do one better. I'm going to perform magic. I'm going to show you how I packed all my winter clothing into two personal item bags. So I won't have any trouble getting my bags onto the plane. If you don't believe me, stay tuned. And I know for most of you, when you think about winter travel, you think about bulky clothing. And that's what gets you into a bit of a bind because you're trying to figure out how you're going to get all that bulky clothing into your luggage. Don't think about bulky clothing. I would never take a sweater like this with me on a trip to Europe or anywhere else in the winter because it's too heavy and it takes up too much valuable room. And another thing to consider is that there may be strict limitations on the weight of your luggage. I'm going to be showing you how to think out of the box when you're thinking about carry-on. Now, I know recently there's been talk about whether or not it's worth it to just travel with just carry-on. And I'm going to tell you, yes, it is. And it's for these reasons. The first reason is I'm not stuck at the baggage carousel, which I think is wonderful. The second reason is I don't want to worry if my luggage is going to get lost. Now, I know it doesn't happen as much as it used to happen, but it does still happen. And I don't want to have to worry about that happening. The third reason is I am not dragging along a lot of luggage behind me. Now, I tend to travel trains, planes, and automobiles. So I am going down cobble streets with this luggage and I'm changing hotels and I'm taking it on and off of trains and buses and all that other stuff. And if you're carrying heavy luggage with you, that's just too much. And nothing gets heavier than an overstuffed bag with heavy winter clothing. And the fourth reason to consider packing lighter is because a lot of airlines have a maximum limit of 8 kilograms or about 18 pounds. And it's very easy to go over that 18-pound limit when you're packing with a lot of heavy clothing. And don't forget, your luggage also counts. There is a fifth reason to consider what I'm proposing here in this video, which I haven't gotten to yet. And that is a lot of you write to me, I can't lift the stuff into the overheads. I have back problems. I got shoulder problems. I got arm problems. Listen, it happens to all of us. It doesn't matter what age you are. Back, neck, arm injuries, they're common in everyone. So what I'm going to be showing you today is a way to get around that. So let me show you my method for packing in the winter. And it does involve the 5-4-3-2-1 method, but it does have another little trick. Let me show you what I picked for my clothing, and then we'll move on to my little trick. So let me tell you a little bit about my plan. I'm going to be traveling with two personal size iron bags. One of them is going to be my takeoff bag because it is a light bag. It's also a small bag. It's 18 by 14 by 8. And the reason I'm choosing to do this is I know I can make compliance if I'm using a European airline that only allows an 8 kilogram limit. And the second reason I'm doing this, as I mentioned earlier on in the video, that is if you're having a problem with your arm or your neck or your back or whatever, it's easier just to put it into the overhead. So now that we got that all out of the way, let's talk a little bit about the strategy to packing. Now, as I mentioned before, I'm going to be using the 5-4-3-2-1 method of packing. Now, let's talk a little bit about strategies for winter packing. The first thing is you're going to be wearing your heaviest items onto the plane. Now, that means your winter coat and your heaviest boots. It also means that if you happen to have a heavier winter outfit to wear and you want to take it on your trip, this is when you're going to take it. You're going to wear it onto the plane. So let me show you what I've picked out to wear on the plane. Now, these are shoes that I'm going to be wearing onto the plane because they are my heaviest items. Now, these are my heavy-duty winter boots. These are the boots that I take with me when I'm going skiing or when I'm visiting places that are very, very cold, like Iceland, and up north, like Salzburg. I take these boots with me. These are my waterproof sneakers, and I took these with me in the middle of winter to Portugal. And these are very warm. And the reason they're very warm is because I have put these fuzzy inserts that look a little dirty because they are my shoes and I do wear them. And I got these at Amazon, and you can pick them up in a pack of 4 or 6. I'll see if I can find the link to them and I'll put it down below. Now, these are the Via boots that I bought myself after I got the white pair. And I like the white pair so much, I got the black pair. And the reason I like these so much is because when you wear them with the matching pair of leggings, you can wear them with a dress or a skirt and you can really dress them up. So I like them for that reason. Now, I do have a plan for when I'm on the plane because wearing these shoes on the plane would be very uncomfortable. And here's my plan. I always travel with a pair of airplane slippers, especially in the winter, because I want to take these boots off. They're heavy. So I use these slippers on the plane and in the hotel room. And I find it very convenient. And they come in their own little pouch and it keeps everything clean. So that's what I'm putting on my feet. Now, as I mentioned before, I'm wearing my heaviest outfit onto the plane because I do want to wear this outfit and I do want to have it with me, but I don't want to pack it. And what I like about this particular sweater is that it wraps, it's easy to take on and off. So if I'm getting hot on the plane, I can take it off. And also, it has this really nice knit bottom. Now, I got this set at Old Navy, and they usually make a set like this at least once a season. So keep your eye out for it. And these are the things I'm not packing because they're very heavy. And the first thing is my coat. And this one is a new one that I happen to have picked up from Quince because my old one kind of got ratty. And I needed a nice coat that could be either dressed up or dressed down. And I think that this was just a perfect pick. I'm also bringing onto the plane a pashmina kind of scarf. It's a big, large scarf. I happen to have gotten this one at the Gap several years ago, and I can either wear it on the plane when I get cold, or I can wear it while I'm out and about as a wrap. It's just a good all-purpose item. And of course, a hat and gloves because it is the winter. Now I'm going to stuff these two items into the pocket of my jacket when I'm going through the airport. And once I'm on the plane, all of this gets stowed away with the exception of the pashmina scarf because that I'm going to wear if I get cold on the plane. And in this way, I am not contributing to the weight of my luggage. Now, I know recently I've shown you extreme versions of the 5 4 3 2 1 method, which is the 4 3 2 1 method. But because I feel like I have a little more space here, I am going with the traditional 5 4 3 2 1 method. So let me show you what I've chosen, and then we can take it from there. So these are the 5 tops I've chosen, and this bottom top can be worn as a layering piece if I want to, and it gives me a little more variation. But you'll notice that I have a wide array of colors, and they all crew neck shirts because it's just so easy to go under everything. And 4 layering pieces, which consists of this cardigan, which opens and closes, and I like that because it can be worn in so many ways. 3 sweaters, which mix and match with the 5 tops that I've already chosen. And all of this goes with that sweater set that I'm wearing onto the plane. My three are these 3 pairs of pants. Now, remember, I do have a fourth pair of pants that I'm wearing onto the plane, but I have these leggings that are actually lined and I can wear them in cold weather. And they're not real leggings. You can dress them up or dress them down. I really like these. And also a pair of blue jeans and a pair of black jeans. So I'm all covered in the pants department. The two are my two pairs of shoes, which can either be dressed up or dressed down depending on what I'm wearing. And I also have the pair of shoes that I'm wearing onto the plane. So that gives me 3 pairs of shoes. And nobody needs more than that for a 10 to 14 day trip. And the one is my burnout velvet dress. So if I have someplace dressy to go to, I have a nice dress to wear. And of course, 7 pairs of underwear, 7 pairs of socks, and a bra. And yes, I know that's only 1 week's worth, but I do sink laundry on these kind of items. And also included in this pack is an infinity scarf in all the colors that work with the palette and a small belt to jazz things up a bit. And nobody needs more than that for a 10 to 14 day trip. As a matter of fact, I can go away with that for even longer. If I'm willing to do a little bit of laundry, if the hotel has laundry, or if the hotel has laundry service, it's not a big deal. I have done this many times before, and it's worth it not to have all that extra weight. So now let's pack out that bag. So I have all my sweaters in this compression cube, all my shirts, my dress, and my pajamas in this compression cube, 2 pairs of shoes in this compression cube, my bra, underwear, socks, the infinity scarf, and the belt in this compression cube, and the pants are going to be packed separately. Now, I want to point out to you that I use the quadrant method of packing. So I have all my pants here, I have my sweaters here, I have my shirts and pajama and the dress here, my 2 pairs of shoes on this side, and all my socks, underwear, and bras in this one compression cube here. And in that way, I'm very organized. And then I zip up the bag, and that's all my clothing in one small personal item bag. And here's my takeoff luggage, fully packed with all my clothing and my 2 pairs of shoes, ready to go. Now, I know you're all going to be asking me, how much does this bag weigh? And this bag comes in as 7.85 kilograms. And because this takeoff bag is a personal item bag, because it's 18 by 14 by 8, it doesn't count as a full size carry on. But I am using this as a carry on bag. And so I am not going to try to put this under my seat. I'm going to put this into the overhead. But it's small enough that I know it's not going to get gate checked. And it's small enough that I can put it easily into the overhead bins. Now it's the next bag that I'm going to use as my personal item bag. Now I made a challenge, and the challenge is that I was going to use two personal item bags. And that takeoff bag counts as a personal item because it's 18 by 14 by 8. I'm also going to even further that challenge by picking the smallest personal item bag for the most restrictive of airlines to pack all my remaining stuff into. And once again, the reason is twofold. I wanted to make compliance for even the most restrictive of airlines, and I also wanted to make this the lightest pack possible so it's easy to get around and you're not lugging around a pile of stuff with you, because that's why I like carry on. Now, regarding that takeoff bag, yes, there are bags that weigh as much as that takeoff bag, say like the Travel Pro Max Light 5, for instance, but it is a full size carry on bag. And yes, you will still make compliance. But the dimensions of the Travel Pro Max Light 5 make it much larger bag, which makes it more difficult to put into the overhead. And that's what I'm trying to show you here, is that you can travel and put smaller items into the overhead, even if you're having difficulty with either your back, your neck, or your shoulders. The Max Light 5 bag would be very difficult because of its large dimensions to lift and put up. But because the takeoff bag has much smaller dimensions, it makes it much easier to pick up and put into the overhead. It also will stop you from overpacking, and it will keep you making compliance for even the strictest of airlines. And when you're traveling with a full-size carry-on bag, you're much more of a target to be gate checked. You're not going to be gate checked with a takeoff bag. You might get gate checked with a Max Light 5. So that's why I chose the takeoff bag. Now, it's not the only bag out there like that.
But the trick to making this work is that one of your personal item bags must roll so that the other one can sit on top.
And in a future video, I'm going to show you something that will really rock your world when it comes to taking personal size items onto the plane, and it works with every bag. But let's get on to the personal item bag. Now, I know you've seen this personal item bag. This is one of my favorite bags because it makes compliance for almost every single airline. So I'm going to show you that with all that clothing in one bag, I am not wanting for anything in this bag. And while I pack out this bag, you might want to hit the like and subscribe button if you found any value in this video. And don't forget to leave me some comments if you have any questions about anything you've seen in this video. Moving right along, the first item I'm going to put into this bag is my computer, because it has a dedicated computer compartment. Now, obviously, the things you don't need to get to belong at the bottom of the bag. For instance, my international hair dryer and my brush. And apparently, Ellie's joining us for the trip. Ellie, what are you doing here? Let me remove Ellie. She'll just keep bothering us. Also at the bottom of the bag is my largest of my crossbody bags, because I'm not going to be needing that. I'm also not going to be needing my laundry kit. And you know I need my laundry kit because I only pack 7 days of underwear and 7 days of bras. Ellie. The joys of having a kitten. My crossbody slash wristlet bag. Also not going to need it. My Stop, Ellie. My international cube, because I'm not going to need it, and my umbrella. And normally I put it into one of these pockets, but I'm not going to do that here because I'm worried about making compliance, and I have plenty of room in this bag. My light up mirror, and that goes into one of the pockets in the bag. And that just leaves 3 items, which my airline comfort bag, which I am going to put here for easy access right in the front. All my toiletries in here. And this includes my makeup, my shampoo and conditioner, everything else that I'm going to need for the trip is all in here. And I put that on the top because I'm going to need that one going through the TSA. Same thing with my tech bag. I'm going to need this while going through the TSA. And that also goes on the side. And I want to show you that there's plenty of room still inside of this bag so I can even buy some stuff while I'm on my trip. And that's everything you need. in one little bag. And as you can see here, my tote fits fine on top of my takeoff bag, and I can get this easily into the overhead. So by using two personal item size bags, one regular size, 18 by 14 by 8, and this small one, which is 16 by 12 by 6. Now, the only way that you could go away with less is if you're doing laundry. But if you're laundry averse, then this is the least amount that you could go away with. This will give you 10 to 14 days worth of clothing without doing laundry, with the exception of some sink laundry for your underwear. Now, I think it's pretty outstanding that I got everything I needed for a 10 to 14-day trip into these two little bags. But if that didn't rock your world, check out these videos over here where I show you other packing methods that you can use that will also fit into these bags. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.